Red alert, pulse of the planet. Keep the fan standing, standing, standing. Red alert, red alert, red alert, yeah. Got the dirt on my soul, no grandstanding. No nasty, not even if it's old dark 30s. Foot street made, even dirt roads, highway 30. 50, 40, 90. That'll
Yeah.
get you 30. That's a clean sweep.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
Welcome to Red Alert Houston Rocket Zone. I'm Hope Champion. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and drop Clutch City in the comments. And lock in to hear Daily Rockets talk.
All right, man. You better know what you heard. This is Houston Rockets Red Alert, Unchained, Untapped, Unfiltered, and Unapologetic. It's time to sound the alarm. All right, man. Just to wake you up, man. Y'all know what time it is. We finna get right into tonight's game. The Houston Rockets facing the Miami Heat in about 30 minutes. Miami is a physical team, defense centric. Obviously, Pat Riley, half court offense. Houston is a versatile team. We do have very fast players, but we really rely on pace, efficient scoring, and the home energy. This is going to be a tough contest, two evenly matched teams. So, no further ado, let's get into the keys to the game. Boom. All right. Offensive keys for tonight's game. Attack matchups. Attack matchups. They do have a good defensive team, but we need to, we have guys who are skilled at what they do. And our guys they can get busy when they need to get busy, but you need to get them in the right, at the right position. You need to keep them in the position to where they're comfortable, and you need to get them into positions where they have the actual advantage. So you want to get a good matchup for each player to have his best offensive game. That way our offense don't look as horrible and trash as it has looked at times when we just go with what the defense gives us. When we go with what the defense gives us, we look like garbage. When we attack matchups, we look a lot better. Space the floor. Reed Shepard being in the starting lineup.
I don't mean to be rude. I had so many questions.
All right, let's hold on right here for a minute. We are about a month out from the All-Star break, and I think at this point it's safe to say that 3 months before the All-Star break or 2 months before the All-Star break, when I said that Reed Shepard probably would have played himself into the starting position by the All-Star break, it's safe to say that at this point, with no Fred VanVleet, Reed Shepard has played himself into the starting lineup at the All-Star break. And here's the key. The key is that he doesn't have to score and hit threes like Steph Curry in order to be the thing that everybody was coming on the stream saying we needed, which was floor spacing. Now, I pointed out vertical spacing, baseline spacing, middle of the court spacing. But when people say floor spacing, they mean a big open space in the middle of the floor to where people have a long time to get in between players when they rotate. And Reed Shepard provides that. And if Reed Shepard is back into the starting lineup, mind you, Ime Udoka said he was trying out something before the playoffs to see how it looked. And he complimented Reed Shepard in his play and things like that. But Reed Shepard obviously provides the obvious floor spacing that Rockets fans have been asking for. So with Reed Shepard in the starting lineup, we space the floor. I like seeing Tari and Amin in separate corners because that means you have two guys in the corners, that haven't been shooting the ball well, that can cut on the baseline and can, get busy on the offensive glass. Play fast. Play fast. Albert Sengun isn't the fastest player, but he is athletic. and he does have sneaky athleticism. That's a word that we use a lot for Reece Shepard when we drafted him. Sneaky athleticism. So we can use Alperen Sengun to create, you know, um, mismatches because he's a fast player. But you have to realize they have Bam Adebayo and Khalil Ware, who are both also athletic players. We have to play fast, and the fact that they have, if Tyler Hero is on the floor, he might be one of the least athletic players on the floor tonight, and we have to play fast and let those things that we said before this fall in line. So with that being said, those are the offensive keys to the game tonight. Tell me what you think about the offensive keys tonight in the chat. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the video, subscribe to the video now. I give you time to subscribe and get back, but those are the offensive keys to the game tonight. Next, high alert defensive keys. We need the Rockets to be on high alert for these particular keys tonight. We have to handle the physicality. This is a Pat Riley team. We understand that they have to be under 4% body fat when they come into training camp. These guys are all athletes. These guys are all physical. These guys are all dogs. If you're not a dog, if you can't handle physicality, if you can't handle, a military style off season, you probably not on the Pat Riley team. These guys are ready to be physical. You're not gonna bully them. You're gonna have to fight them and beat them. Handle the physicality. Limit turnovers. Another thing. Pat Riley teams, they don't make a lot of mistakes. They either beat you or they don't. They're not gonna beat themselves for you. So you're going to have to limit your turnovers. They're going to be operating as a well-oiled machine, and it's either going to be a very good well-oiled machine or a well-oiled machine that you can beat. And if you can't beat their well-oiled machine, they're not going to beat themselves, so you can't do it either. Rebound the basketball. Bam Adebayo scored 83 points the other night. But as you know, Bam Adebayo is a rebounding and defensive machine, even at his, older age that he's at right now. He can still get on the glass, and so can Khalil Ware, who is a 7'2" up and coming Titan, who's gonna be one of the biggest contenders to Victor Wembanyama for the next 7-8 years. He's gonna be one of the biggest Wemby stoppers in the future. Khalil Ware is a absolute monster. He's gonna rebound the basketball, from the free throw line, in the middle of the court. Anything that comes off that rim is potential for a putback. And you don't want to give them second chance opportunities. You are known as the best offensive rebounding team in the league. Let's keep that title tonight. Rebound the basketball. Now, those are the high alert defensive keys to the game. And there you have the high alert, red alert keys to the game. The matchup tonight is going to be about X's and O's. It's going to be pace versus physical. Pace versus physical. Both teams want to play with pace. Both teams want to play physical. Who can have the best pace? Who can be the most physical? It's going to be they say a knockdown, drag out, but, let's just call it, if we want to reference what it's usually been, it's been more like a hip toss drag out. So this is going to be a hip toss drag out versus a team that we have had, ultra physical, uber physical matchups against in the past. So therefore, we're going to see who can maintain the pace and who can overcome the physicality of the team. That being said, tonight, X factor of the game. Jabari Smith Jr. Offensively, he needs to stay aggressive. Jabari Smith Jr. needs to stay aggressive. When Jabari Smith Jr. is aggressive, he keeps the defense off balance as much as any other player that we have. Listen, Jabari is playing at a pace that's so hard to keep up and predict. His aggressiveness is I can go right, I can go left, I can turn over either shoulder, I can pull up for three. You can't get to my shot. I'm shooting the ball at a very high arc. I'm shooting the ball at a very consistent pace. It's almost like when you talk about guys who, when they get in the mid range, it's automatic. You almost can put Jabari up there with Shea because when he gets the ball in the mid range, his mid range is almost automatic. I know I might be reaching when I say Shea. People going to say, "Oh no, Jabari don't shoot like Shea." But let me tell you, other than off games when he's not shooting the ball well, when Jabari's shooting the ball well, he is as automatic in the mid range, I think, as anybody in the league. It feels like it anyway. Feels like, you know how when you're in Houston and they'll say it's 97, but it feels like 115. That's Jabari. Jabari is a 50% mid-range shooter. Feels like 60 almost, right? So Jabari needs to stay aggressive, continue to mix it up on offense and on defense. Going with the theme from last night, he needs to stay aggressive. So we're gonna just triple down on this. He needs to stay aggressive on defense, be physical. They actually mentioned, now notice that before they mentioned this, I came out and said that Jabbar needs to be the emotional enforcer, the hype man for this team. And they came out and mentioned it last night on the stream. I mean on the game. They said Jabbar is taking the role of the emotional leader of this team. Now, I don't know, like I say, I only have one or two people that come in, and listen to the whole stream. And I don't think what I'm saying is getting back to the world, but I do think what I'm saying is accurate. And if you listen to this stream, you will be ahead of everybody else. That's just what I think. If you come here and you listen to the stream, you're going to be miles ahead of what other people are thinking and saying because I'm looking at it from a wide frame lens and I'm telling you what I know as a 40, almost 50-year Rockets fan, right? So this is what I'm saying. They came out and they flat out said that Jabbar is taking on the role of the emotional leader of this team, and he needs to do so. He needs to continue to do so, and that means defensively. He's done it offensively. He's gotten hype. He flexes, he screams, he yells. He brings the intensity on offense. He brings the intensity on defense. But we also need him to continue to play with that aggressiveness, stay aggressive on defense and on the board. Guess what? Stay aggressive. Stay aggressive. You're not getting 8, 9, 10, 11 rebounds like Armin and Tari do at times, but you can get there if you just stay aggressive. Stay aggressive on the board. Stay aggressive on the board. I saw plays. We looked at plays the other night when we looked at the film where Kevin Durant let LeBron James waltz in and get offensive rebounds. Jabari Smith Jr. will not really let you do that. He plays smart. He plays with his head and he plays aggressive on the boards. We need him to stay aggressive on the boards and we need him to be more aggressive on the boards. We need him to be so aggressive on the boards that if Tari or Amon is trying to get a rebound and he can get it over them, he needs to snatch that rebound. We need the kind of player that I'm going to get the rebound even if I have to take it from my own team. So Jabari, salutes to you. Stay aggressive on the board. If he shows up, we win. Say it with me now. If he shows up, we win. The game field tonight, Miami is probably going to be a little bit slow. They want to bang, bang, and then, Bam Adebayo in the post, in the hook, and the fade, the little midi jump hooks, and Khalil Ware getting the dunks, and Tyler Hero pounding the rock in the paint and dribbling and doing a little this and that and swinging the ball. They're going to play a little bit slower and methodical. We want to pick up the tempo tonight. We want to pick up the tempo tonight and get them out of their pace. For one, we're playing on a back-to-back, and we need to get out and run early and often and see if we can blow the game open and get guys to the bench so they can get rested. But tonight's not gonna be an easy night. But if we play fast, get it off to the races early, we can make this a very good game. Now, with that being said, the red alert at the buzzer final prediction. This is where it gets tricky. Let's look at the odds for tonight's game. Okay, let's go just look at the odds for tonight's game. I want to pull this up. The odds for tonight's game are very, very close. This is one of the closest odds for any game that we've had this season. The odds are 58.3 for the Rockets, 41.7 for Miami. That's not a big margin when we've been seeing like 60, 68 to 30 something, right? 68 to 32 and numbers like that. So this is a closer game to Vegas than a lot of the games that we've played in the past month or so. Davion Mitchell is averaging 6.6 assists. Albert Shangoon is averaging 6.2 assists. Bam Adebayo is averaging 9.7 rebounds. Albert Shangoon is averaging 8.9 rebounds. Norman Powell is averaging 22.3 points. Kevin Durant is averaging 25.7 points. So their guys are not, backing down. They're very close to where we are overall. Miami actually leads the season series. Pat, the last game they beat us 115 to 105. Miami is third in the Eastern Conference. Is that right? That can't be right. No, that can't be right. Can't be right. Oh, in the Southeast. Third in the Southeast Eastern Conference. Okay. All right, that can't be right. And let's see. Jaime Jaquez is out. Oh, Norman Powell is out. Andrew Wiggins is out. And for us, we just have Steven Adams out and Fred VanVleet. So they have two of their main guys out tonight. We're pretty much with a full loaded roster. They average 120 points. We average 113. They allow 117 points. We allow 109 points. So with that being said, let's take the Rockets 112 to 108. Let's take the Rockets 112 to 108 tonight in this particular matchup. Tell me what you think about the motorcycle driving down the road like a maniac. But with that being said, tell me what you think about the 112-108 score tonight. Do you think the Rockets can get by with more than that? You think that's a little too close? Should we beat them by more? Or do you think it's going to be a 4-point game or tighter? Now I'm going to drop the link. I'm dropping the link. If anybody wants to come up, give your takes. If I missed anything in the past couple of shows, you want to come up and you say, yeah, you be lying or you be telling stories or, you be capping or you be bullshitting or anything like that, feel free to come on in the room. Come on in the room. I said, come on up in here and let your boy know exactly what you're talking about. But other than that, we are 10 minutes away from game time. And tonight's game is going to be a tough game. I appreciate everybody who has pulled up to check out the pregame show with Red Alert. And I think it's safe to say that tonight is not a tonight is not a big you know, whatever happens tonight is gonna make or break the Houston Rockets. Right? I don't think tonight is one of those things that's like, hey, if the Houston Rockets play good tonight, they could be on the upslide or uptrend or any of that stuff. I basically think that tonight is a game where, you know, the most thing that I think can happen tonight is we can show who we really are if we don't play well. If we don't play well, then you reaffirm what we already think. If you do play well, so what? You haven't done it enough to convince anybody of anything, not in my circle. Not in my circle. You haven't done enough to convince anybody. You haven't done enough to keep, people who've been Rockets fans for forever to watch Rockets games. Let me say this as I got 10 minutes. I got 10 minutes to rant. You know, my pops started me watching the Rockets when I was about 5, 6 years old. And he's been watching the Rockets since way, way back. Ever since they started allowing people to watch Rockets. And been watching basketball, as much as he can watch basketball since before they even had basketball that you can watch on regular TV. When you had to keep up with it on the newspaper or just catch clips if somebody had a clip in practice or something like that. But the fact that my pops at his age can't sit down and enjoy a Rockets game without feeling like it's gonna stress him is, to me, is it's almost heartbreaking. It's funny, it's hilarious because we can sit back and laugh and be like, ha ha ha, you know, this team should be better than what they are. But by the same token, I'll tell you, real live Rockets fans, and I speak for even those who annoy me, who change, game to game or every 2 or 3 games they ranting and raving, and I don't feel like a lot of these guys are even old enough to even have that kind of real attachment to the team. A lot of these guys just, I don't know. I'm not really, really, really in touch. I am, but some of the stuff that the Rockets fans get oversensitive about, I don't. That's just me. But I can say this: as a long-standing Rockets fan, and as my dad being a long-standing Rockets fan, and my uncles being long-standing Rockets fan, I can say that when a guy doesn't even want to watch the team, and you have a Hall of Famer on your team, you have young, exciting talent on the team, you have one of the most revered, respected coaches in the league on the team. Is the commentary great? Meh, you probably don't have, exciting commentary. We don't have a Bill O'Reilly and Kevin Murphy that we'll go to listen just to listen to Bill and Calvin. We haven't got that yet. You know, should they? Should they? I mean, no slight to Ryan. I like Ryan. No slight to Kevin. I like Kevin. Kevin been around forever. Um, but I mean, should we have a guy like, maybe a Vernon or, maybe a Mario? I don't even know if Mario can do that. But I mean, should we have a guy that we relate to more as Rockets fans? Yes, we should. Ryan is really not the guy that we relate to. And maybe if we had that guy, it would entice Rockets fans to be more committed to watching the games. But my dad, other Rockets fans that's been watching for, since I was a kid, none of these guys really want to watch Rockets basketballs. None of these guys want to watch the game. All these guys are like, you know, I can't make myself sit there and watch the game. I'm either fall asleep drinking or I'm just gonna get stressed out because there's nothing about the game that's really exciting over the course of the game. You get spurts where it's exciting, and you get spurts where it's just unwatchable. That's a problem. It's a problem when you have a guy like Ime at the ham that everybody respects. And it's a problem when you have a guy like Kevin Durant that's considered the all-time greatest scorer in the history of basketball. And you got Amin Thompson, who might be one of the best young up-and-coming athletes and has the tenacity and you know, diehard demeanor and all that stuff and dog and fight and all this stuff people say. And then you got Tari, who was at one time they was raving about Tari Eason. You got Alfred Shangoon, who they've called Baby Jokic and ran and rave about his skill level. You got all these great things, but when you put it all together on the court, Rockets fans that have watched consecutive Rocket games, like it's literally been a time where 3, 4, 5, 6 years in a row, me or my dad didn't miss a game. When I call my dad and I say, Dad, you watch the game, and I can't really, I check them out, but I don't really watch them like that. That to me is horrible, horrible for the Houston Rockets. It's a horrible thing to have when old Rocket fans can't bring themselves to watch Rockets basketball. So that's just what I wanted to say before the game gets started. That's on a side note. I don't think that's really like the big deal, but for me it is. For me it is because it says so much about the makeup of the team and the culture, like the culture or the identity of the team. Because even last year when we had Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks, guys was watching every game. Guys was watching every game all the way through the playoffs, not missing games. Bad games, good games, whatever, guys was watching games. But now guys aren't watching games. It's nothing about this team that makes a guy feel like, this is something that I can attach my fandom to, right? Right? There's nothing about this team that's really like I'm dedicated to giving my full support to this team. Take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt because at this point I'm not even analyzing the game itself. I'm just analyzing, the Houston Rockets from a fan's perspective. And what I can tell you for 100% without a doubt, I callously and holistically am appalled that this team, the way that it's constructed with the people that's on the team and the coach and everything, has gotten to the point to where people who've been Rockets fans for 50, 60 years don't even really want to watch the team. Eh, I mean, that's bad. It's bad. It's bad because even when we was in the dog days, even when we was in the dog days, in the what's his name? Steven Silas. Even when we was in the days of Steven Silas, people was watching the Rockets, dedicated and committed to the bill. Dedicated and committed to the bill. And then, we got Ime, and we got Fred Beverly, and we got Dylan Brooks. And next thing I know, the team is unwatchable. One more thing. Everybody is trying to convince me that Ime should get an offensive coordinator. I've been saying I don't think Ime needs an offensive coordinator. I can't understand how a guy that played under Greg Popovich doesn't have access to the same information that another guy would have. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. If you played under Greg Popovich, that means somewhere in your, somewhere in your offensive library, you have access to Greg Popovich offense. You know when he called timeouts because you played. You know his philosophies because you listened to it. So it's hard for me to understand why Ime would need an offensive coordinator. I don't I don't really, you know, I don't really believe in the fact that he should have an offensive coordinator, but at a point, I can't really push back. All I can say is, hey, listen, I think he's better offensively than what is showing. He don't have the guys defensively to do what he can do offensively, because if your offense ain't good, your defense ain't good. If your defense ain't good, your offense ain't good. And I think that defensively, he's missing certain parts. And so offensively, he has to control the tempo and vice versa. Offensively, he's missing certain things. So defensively, it's hurting you in transition, right? You getting hurt in transition because you're missing shots. And then on the defensive side, you don't really have somebody to really protect that back line. So therefore, you have to try to keep the shots down because they might make shots and you might. So it's just a jumbled up thing. But overall, I think I don't believe Ime needs an offensive coordinator, for a lack of better words, but I can't push back on people who believe it. Now, with that being said, I appreciate everybody coming in. I appreciate the people who pulled up and listened. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the subscribes. And we're about to get into the game. Yeah. Just like that. Just like that. Peace. I'm out.
I'm your host, Hope Champion, and this has been another exciting edition of Red Alert Rocket Zone. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the great things we have coming your way. Want to jump into one of our one-on-one debates? Email us at redalert.rocketzone@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. While you're at it, head over to the website and check out the KG1 merch. And if you want to show support or buy us a coffee, you can send it through Cash App, $2 6KG1. We truly appreciate your support because every show needs a spark. And for us, you are it. So come back again and blast off with Red Alert Rocket Zone.
Another night, another stat I can't defend. Another hope, our hope never ends. Every loss feel like deja vu, but every win reminds me why I do. The lights fade, but the passion don't. The city fans got pushed back for the smoke. Even when the shots don't fall, I'm still here to talk that talk. You can't believe I'm still tuned to this tone, still taking off in the rocket zone. All the heat, all the pride, you know what we own. Yeah, welcome home to the Red Alert Zone. We gon' break it down like how to break down the zone. He is an alien man, Mike calling on the phone. Every fan's a debater at heart. Every stance to take is part of the art. Oh, they say the data never lies, but numbers can't feel what's on the heart inside. So we clutch city till we die, even if we hold their feet to the fire. Tuned to this tone, oh, taking off in the rocket zone. All the hate, all the pride, you know what we are. Yeah, welcome home to the Red Alert Zone. No alien man, he is an alien man. He's an alien, that's a man, and he is a Rockies fan. Oh, alien man, calling to talk about the Rockies. Oh, alien man, he's an alien man. Oh man, he's just an alien. my brackets then. Alien man, area 51 do. He's a to the red alert zone.